Here's my code for the Fahrenheit Celsius change, the new background design, and the last sync. So up here in the libraries, we have the similar ones that we've had, but I also included the NTP client as well, and then this Wi-Fi UPD. So those will come into play later. Here, this is just similar to what we had. For the Fahrenheit and Celsius, I added a variable that's going to track that temperature. So if it's Fahrenheit, so it's going to start at Fahrenheit and then go back and forth between Celsius. And then this is going to be this one call that will take Fahrenheit to Celsius. So it starts with the Fahrenheit temperature that we get from the API, and it's going to change it into Celsius. And then here are some variables for the NTP client. Here we have that get request. We're going to draw the image, get the weather, and then really the big thing that changed is toggling the temperature. So I'll show you that down there. So for our setup, same thing. We've got the normal stuff, connecting to the Wi-Fi, all of that. And then for our loop, so we're going to update the file or update the API basically to change the temperatures. And then we're going to update the time client so we can get that new time. Here we have this timer, which is going to, after a little bit of a delay, it will make sure that's still connected to the Wi-Fi, get the weather details, and then display it. Otherwise, it'll say that we're disconnected. And then whenever the A button is pressed, it will show up down here in the bottom. And then it'll also change the temperature and then draw that weather display again. So fetching the weather details, this is just like before. Nothing really changed in here. And then here's where it changed. So we have this draw weather display. So we made the icon a little bit smaller. And then this is just changing the different sizes and the locations of everything. So the text size is going to be 3 for the low and the high. The padding is going to be set at 10. So this just starts with the low in that corner. And then this is going to change if it says the F or C, so Fahrenheit or Celsius. And then again here, this is for the high temperature, so high Fahrenheit or Celsius. And then for the current temperature, it's a size 6, and I changed the padding so that it'll be on the left-hand side or the cursor, and then again with the Fahrenheit and Celsius. And then the city name is going to be a little bit smaller, and then change that location as well to have it closer to the bottom. And then this is where we have the time sync. So we have that even smaller in the very bottom corner. And then we're going to format that time into from some substrings to integers, and we want to make sure that we are converting it from military to AM PM, and we also want to adjust because it measures the time on East Coast time. So I had to do this to change it to be the Pacific Standard Time. And then here we just have if it is going to be AM or PM. So if the numbers of the military time are below 12, it'll change it basically. And then, or sorry, if they're above 12, it'll change it. And then we'll just output that last sync right here. And then we have that get request and then drawing the image, like we said. And then here are the two methods. So toggling the Fahrenheit. So it'll just go from is to isn't Fahrenheit. And then this takes it from, this is the Fahrenheit to Celsius. So this is just a formula that I found to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then for the platform INI, I have included the M5 Core 2, the Arduino, we have the NTP client, and then the Arduino JSON. And yeah, those are the ones that I'm using. In this demo, I'm going to show you how we go from Fahrenheit to Celsius with the push of a button. I'll show you the last sync time working, and then also go over the new design. So for the new design, I decided to add the low and high and make them kind of at the top. So just so that they're not kind of awkwardly on top of one another, and they're very distinct, low on the left, high on the right. And then the current temp is going to be a little bit off-centered now to the left and smaller font, and then it's going to have a smaller version of the image right next to it. And then we have Washington, D.C., which is the long name, and then after this I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like for Chino as well, and then Tyler's going to be showing you how to change the zip code with those cities as well. And then you can also see I have in a very small but still readable font at the bottom when our last sync was. So you can see that that's actually been updating every couple of seconds, and then it shows the PM time. It doesn't show military time, so it says it's 4:37. I'll go ahead and show you that it's also 4:37 right there. And then here I will go ahead and show you with the push of this button that it's going to go right back and forth to Celsius and Fahrenheit.
All right, so this is step 3 where we use the zip code instead of the state and city. You can see that we have a string zip code set to 20001, which is Washington, D.C. The correct temperature is displaying as well. We will now hit B here, and that's going to take us to edit zip code. And you can see we have plus and minuses for that correspond to each individual number of the zip code. So if we want to go to Chino, that's going to be, it's going to be 9. It's going to be 9, 1. Oh man, okay, let's do this. 9, 1, 7. And then we're at 0, and then one more, we'll just bump it to 8. So Chino should be 91708, and then if we hit the B button again, it'll take us back to Chino. And you can see it's 52 degrees Fahrenheit, low 48, high 57 Fahrenheit, so that is working correctly. I will now show you the code where we were able to implement the zip codes working successfully. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see that we now have the fetch weather details changed to look for the string of zip code, which is what we are able to update in the new screen that we have when we hit the B button. And then if we scroll up, this void loop is basically the logic for incrementing and decrementing for hiring and lowering specific numbers to change the zip code. So we just have the logic here, and then here we have the UI for the draw edit zip code screen. So you can see, yeah, just we have the specific sizes and the specific positions for where we want the zip code. And yeah, that is both Washington, D.C. Working as a zip code and Chino working as a zip code successfully.